And then in 2011, when you were going to open a new seminary for the Archdiocese of Washington, you chose to name it for John Paul II, the Blessed John Paul II Seminary. Now, come April 27th, the signs out front will change. St. John Paul II Seminary. Why is he such a great role model for our seminarians, our future priests, and for our priests who are serving out in the vineyard now?
There are two reasons for naming the seminary after Blessed soon Saint John Paul II. Early on in his pontificate, remember he was elected in 78, early on in his pontificate, he called for a renewal of seminary life around the world. And he called for a visitation of all the seminaries in the United States. I was invited to be a part of that. Bishop John Marshall, God rest him, was the apostolic visitator, and I was the general secretary for that visit. And we began the systematic visit at the request of the Pope of all the seminaries. To say, as the Pope said, the renewal of the church will begin in the renewal of the seminary. Then he called for a synod on the formation of priests. That synod took place in 1990. Out of that synod came the document Pastores Dabo Vobis, I will give you shepherds, which has been the norm for priestly formation across the Church Universal since then. So it just seemed so appropriate that the Pope, who had focused on seminaries as the font of renewal of the Church, should be the patron of our seminary. And then, of course, the young men that are in the seminary, the young men that are coming along and that are populating that seminary, are men who were impacted by the church he guided for 27 years. So it all converged. It all just made sense that the sign out front should say John Paul II.
And what qualities did he have as a priest? What priestly qualities did he have that, seminarians and priests should emulate, would you say?
Well, the first has to be that total self-giving to the church. There can't be, as we talk today, there can't be much sunlight between person and church, between priest and church. They have to be the same thing in the life of the priest. He has to see himself as servant of God's people, as servant of Jesus Christ in his church, as one configured to Christ as head of that body, but for the service of that body. So that has to be the overriding image and message that John Paul left for anybody who's thinking of priesthood today, and for anyone who is a priest or a bishop today. Our ministry is a gift from Jesus for his church, but it's something we should be exercising every minute, every day.